I'm 77 years old, and I just realized I never lived a single day as myself. I burned my soul in the backyard when I was 17. My mother said nothing. We fed 47 paintings to the flames that night, 4 years of my life curling into ash. Everything you think you know about success, it's a lie. Society, parents, traditions. They taught us to bury who we are, dig our own graves with diplomas and white coats. I spent 50 years saving lives while killing my own. My father died 2 years ago. He left me a letter, and now it's too late. We lived in Connecticut, a white colonial house with black shutters, the kind of house where doctors lived, where success lived. My father was Zet, Dr. William Morrison, the doctor, chief of cardiology, the man who never smiled in photographs. I was 13 when I first smelled oil paint. Art class. Mr. Kress, Chen's room on the 3rd floor. The windows faced west, and every afternoon, the light would pour in like liquid gold. I remember the exact moment I mixed cadmium yellow with burnt, dragged the brush across canvas, and something inside me woke up. Mr. Chen stood behind me, silent, watching. "You have a gift, Rich," he finally said. "Don't let anyone kill it." I didn't understand what he meant. Not then. I started staying after school, painting while other kids played baseball. My hands would cramp, my clothes would stain. But for those 2 hours, every day, I wasn't Richard Morrison, son of doctor. I was just Rich, the kid who could turn a blank canvas into a world. At home, I hid my paintings under the light. My father's footsteps on the Lord. Stairs, those heavy, deliberate steps in Italian leather shoes, they sounded like a countdown. Every night at 6:47 p.m., I'd shove the canvases deeper, wipe the paint off my fingers, pretend I'd been studying biology, because art wasn't serious. Art was for weekends, for people who didn't have potential. My father would open my door without knocking. "Studying?" "Yes." He'd nod, close the door, and I'd exhale. For 4 years, I lived 2 lives. The you, obedient pre-med student by, the artist in secret by night. Mr. Chen gave me a professional paint set for my 16th birthday. 56 colours, sable brushes, stretched canvases. He made me promise to apply to art, Rhode Island School of Design. You belong there. "Rich," I laughed, "my father would never." "Your father doesn't have to live your life, but he did. That was the problem." Spring 1966. I was 17. The letter came on a Tuesday, thick envelope, RISD logo embossed in the corner. My hands shook. As I opened it, "We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted." I held that letter like it was a passport to another life. For exactly 10 minutes, I was the person I was else. I could see it alive. Studio apartment in New York, paint-stained floors, my work in galleries, people standing in front of my paintings, feeling, I could smell the mask, turpentine, taste the freedom. I ran downstairs. My mother was in the kitchen, cutting vegetables. The knife made precise, rhythmic sounds against the cutting board. "Mum, I got in. Rhode Island School of Design, full scholarship." The knife stopped. She didn't look up. "Your father will be home at 6. We'll discuss it then." That silence, that 4-hour silence, it felt like drowning in slow motion. Dinner, pot, mashed potatoes, the smell of rosemary. My father sat at the head of the table, cutting his meat with surgical woe. I slid the letter across the pose. He glanced at it, didn't pick it up. "Art school," he said. Not a question, a diagnosis. "Dad, it's one of the best. You want to waste your brain on painting?" He set down his fork. "We don't raise dreamers in this family, Richard. We raise leaders, doctors, people who matter. Artists matter. Artists starve." His voice didn't rise. It never did. That's what made it worse. "You have a 4 gigapascals, perfect SAT scores. Harvard wants you. Johns Hopkins wants you. And you want to throw that away for art? My mother was silent, pushing peas around her plate. Mum, I looked at her, desperate. Say something. She glanced at my father, then at me. Yomidi, father knows best. Honey, that was it. 6 words. And I knew I'd lost. My father leaned back, folded his fars. 3 generations of Morrison men have been appengers. Your grandfather saved lives in World War II. I performed over 2,000 surgeries. And you. He looked at me like I was a patient with a terminal diagnosis. You will continue that legacy. This discussion is over. I wanted to scream, flip the table, but I was 17 and I was obedient, so I nodded. Yes, sir. August 12th, 1966. The night before college applications were due, my father found me in my room, packing up my paintings. 47, 4 years of my soul stacked against the man. What are those? Though he knew my work. Bring them downstairs. We walked to the backyard. He handed me a bead, metal trash can, then a "This is for your own good." I stood there, holding that lighter. The sun was setting. Everything was orange and purple, the colors I loved. I lit the first painting, A. I watched my own face curl and blacken and disappear into smoke. Then the next, and the next. My father stood beside Bayer, hands in his ears, watching. My mother watched from the kitchen window, then closed the curtains. 47 paintings. It took 37. That fall, I didn't just burn canvas and oil paint, I burned Rich, the real one. The next morning, I submitted my application to go Harvard Medical School, and I never picked up a brush again. I became Dr. Morrison, just like he wanted. Harvard Medical School, residency at Mass General, chief of cardiology at 42. I wore the mass. I learnt the language medical jargon, detached professionalism, the careful distance between doctor and human being. 50 years, 10,000, toi, 0000. I saved hearts while mine slowly stopped beating. People called me brilliant, dedicated, a man who'd found his dollars. They had no idea I was a ghost in someone. I'd walk through hospital corridors and see paintings on the walls, cheap prints, corporate art, and feel this ache, like phantom bush, something missing that I couldn't name. At night, when everyone was asleep, I'd sit at the kitchen table with a pencil and sketch on napkins. Hands, faces, the old view from our bedroom window. Then, I'd throw them away before sunrise. My wife found one once, a drawing of her reading by lamplight. I didn't know you could draw, she died. I can't, just doodling. She looked at me for a long moment, then asked the question I'd been avoiding for 30 years. Do you even like your job? I smiled. The smile I'd perfected. The one that said, everything is fine. Of course I do. She never asked. Again. November 2023. My father, 96 years old, in the ICU. His heart failing. The irony wasn't lost on me. I sat beside his bed, this man who'd shaped my entire existence. We'd worked together for 20 years at the same hospital, attended the same conferences, published papers with both Paul, but we never, not really, we just followed the script. His eyes opened. He saw me. And for the first time in my cyst, I saw something I'd never regret. He tried to speak. Couldn't. His mouth formed words that wouldn't come. He reached for my lead, squeezed. 3 times. I didn't know what it meant. He died 6 hours later. 2 weeks after the funeral, his lawyer called. Your father left specific instructions. This is to be given to you alone. A sealed envelope. My name in his handwriting, still steady, still, even at. I sat in my car in the parking lot, opened it. Dear Richard, I'm writing this because I was never brave enough to say it to your parking. I saw it every single day. The sadness in your eyes when you put on that white coat, the way you'd stare at paintings in the hallway, the sketches you thought I didn't to find in the trash. I told myself I was there, protecting you, that I was saving you from a life of struggle and disappointment. But the truth, son, is that I was protecting my pride, my pride, my pride. The Morrison name, you would have been a magnificent artist. I knew it the first time I saw your work. The terrified process, because it meant you didn't need my path, didn't need my approval. So I took it from you. I stole your life, and I was too much of the president, a coward to admit it. While I still had, you saved thousands of lives, Richard, but I destroyed one. Yours. I'm sorry. I'm so deeply sorry. Don't wait like I did. And don't let pride or fear or other people's expectations kill what's left of who you really are. Don't wait, Dad. I sat on the floor of my papal and I wept. Not for Ido, for us, for 50 years of silence, for the boy who burned his soul in a backyard and never forgave himself, for the father who watched, said nothing, for all the words we never said. It was too late for both of us. 3 days after reading that letter, I did something I hadn't done in 50 years. I went to the basement, our house, the one I bought after my father, the one that was supposed to be mine. It had a basement I never used, storage, boxes from moves, things I told myself I'd sort through someday. I knew what I was looking, the light bulb, dust everywhere. And there, in the corner, under a tarp and old Christmas decorations, a cardboard, no label, but I won. My hands were shaking. I'm a surgeon. My hands never shake. I opened it, inside. 6 paintings, the ones I couldn't burn, the ones I hid in my closet that night and smuggled out before my father could check. They were decaying, water damage, mold creeping across the canvas like a disease. The colours faded to ghosts. A landscape I'd painted of the Connecticut coast, the blues were grey now. A portrait of Collis, my mother, her face half dissolved into. I lifted one carefully. It crumbled at the edges. This is all that's left of who I was supposed to be. I sat on the concrete resin, held those rotting one, and I felt 17 again, but it was 60 years too late. Why did I obey? Why didn't I fight? What would my life look like if I had said no that night at dinner? If I had taken that letter to Risdi and left? If I had chosen myself instead of his pride? Would I be poor? Maybe. Unknown? Probably. Would I have struggled? Yes. But would I be me? Yes, I have money now. A house in the suburbs, a pension, a resume that impressive people nod at, 3 medical awards with my name engraved in, but I don't have a single painting with my signature on it. I cured 10,000 hearts, but I never healed my own. My father's letter said, don't wait, but I already did. I'm 77 years old. My hands shake now, nerve damage. The price of time, my eyes blur. I can't hold a brush steady anymore. I waited for permission that never came. I waited for my father to say, in a letter, after he was dead. And now I'm out of time. The saddest part isn't that I never became an artist. The saddest part is that I don't even know who Rich Morrison was supposed to be. I buried him so deep, so young, that I can't find him anymore. All I have left are 6 rotting paintings. And a lifetime of what if you're listening to this and you're living someone else's dream. If you're in a job you hate because your parents wanted it, because society expected, because you were afraid of disappointing people who will die before you do. If you're waiting for the right time to be yourself, stop today, not tomorrow, not next year, not when you retire, today. Your parents will forgive you, or they won't. But you have to forgive yourself. And you, 9, can't do that if you're living their life instead of. Don't wait for a deathbed letter. Don't wait until your hands shake and your dreams rot in a basement and all you have left is regret. I'm 77. I bought a small canvas, 9 by 12 inches, a set of cheap acrylic paints from the craft store, brushes that cost $4. I set it up in my kitchen. The light's not as good as Mr. Chen's classroom. My lines are shaky, my colours bleed. I can barely hold the brush for more than 10 minutes before my hand cramps. But it's mine. I'll never be the artist I was supposed to be. I know that. That ship sailed 60 years ago, burning in a backyard in Connecticut. But I can die trying to remember him. The boy who mixed paint and felt alive. What's the one thing you buried? Dig it up. Not someday. Now. Not when it's convenient. Not when you have permission. Because I promise you, the people you're trying to please, they're not living with your regret. You are. My father's last words in that letter. Don't let anyone steal your soul. I let him. I let them. I let myself. You still have dollars. I don't. Don't become, I'm Dr. Richard Morrison. I saved 10,000 lives. But I never saved my own.